France has just put its biggest defense offer to India on paper. 94 Rafale fighter jets built in India out of a total order of 114. The price tag? Well, 3.25 lakh crore rupees, roughly around $39 billion. And this is not a wish list anymore. It's a formal, detailed proposal sitting inside India's Defense Ministry. France has formally submitted its detailed technical and commercial proposal for India's multi-role fighter aircraft program. It sounds like a dream for the Make in India push in the defense sector. So why is France offering to build most of these jets on Indian soil instead of shipping them in ready-to-fly shape? What does India actually get out of this beyond aircraft? And can building Rafales in India truly help India build the AMCA tomorrow? Here is what actually landed on India's desk. France's Dassault Aviation has submitted its full technical and commercial response to India's letter of request, which was issued back in May this year. The plan is straightforward on paper. A small batch of jets, around 20, arrive in flyaway condition, ready to fly straight from France. The remaining 94 are to be built entirely in India with a local industry partner. This is now with India's acquisition wing and the Air Force for detailed study, particularly around integrating India's own Astra air-to-air missile and pushing for higher indigenous content. But this isn't just Dassault handing over a factory. The plan involves all of Dassault's key partners: Safran, which makes the engines; Thales, which handles radar and avionics; MBDA, which supplies the missiles. Each of them is expected to bring Indian companies into their supply chain. Indian sources put the value of this industrial opportunity at around 1.6 lakh crore rupees, flowing directly to firms like Tata and Larsen & Toubro. And of course, many MSMEs also will be built in going forward. This is not a side benefit. That is roughly half the total deal value staying inside India's own industrial ecosystem. The deal is not happening in comfortable circumstances. India's Air Force is dealing with a real squadron shortage. Its sanctioned strength is 42 fighter squadrons, but the IAF currently operates around 31. Old Russian origin MiG variants are being phased out. At the same time, India's own Tejas program, both the Mark 1A and Mark 2 versions, has faced repeated delivery delay. Old Russian origin MiG variants are being phased out, and at the same time, India's own Tejas program, both the Mark 1A and Mark 2 versions, have faced repeated delivery delays. That combination leaves a widening gap between how many fighter squadrons the Air Force needs and how many it actually has. Rafale has already proven itself operationally. During Operation Sindoor last year, the French jet fleet carried out deep strike missions as part of India's response to the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, that performance record is a big reason that the Air Force wants more of the same aircraft, not a completely new platform to learn from scratch. Add up the numbers and the scale becomes clear. India's Air Force already operates 36 Rafales. The Navy has ordered 26 more for its carrier operations. That is 62 jets already committed. Now, this new order of 114 Rafales would push the total fleet size to 178 aircraft. The Navy has separately signaled interest in inducting another 31 Rafales for maritime operations, which could eventually take India's total Rafale fleet past the 200 jets mark. Running one large standardized fleet also means simpler maintenance, shared spare parts, and fewer logistics headaches rather than juggling multiple different fighter types. So what does this mean for AMCA? The proposal from Dassault comes at a fascinating moment. India has reportedly declined the American F-35 offer and has also walked away from Russia's latest Su-57E proposal, if reports are to be believed. Now, both aircraft represented dependence. one on Washington, the other on Moscow. France has recognized India's changing priorities, so instead of selling finished aircraft, it is offering manufacturing, industrial participation, and a larger role for Indian companies. Even without full technology ownership, the benefits are substantial. Manufacturing nearly 100 advanced fighters inside India would create one of the country's largest aerospace production ecosystems. Indian companies would gain experience in precision machining, composites, avionics integration, supply chain management, and, of course, quality control. Thousands of highly skilled jobs will follow. Indian suppliers could become part of Dassault's global production chain. All of that experience eventually feeds into the AMCA. If this proposal goes through as submitted, 82% of this fleet will be physically assembled inside India, with major systems built by Indian companies working alongside the likes of Safran, Thales and MBDA. Now that is a very different model from simply importing jets and slapping a local sticker on them. It builds actual manufacturing muscle, the kind that India will eventually need for the AMCA, which is still years away from its first flight. So this deal doesn't replace that ambition. It buys India time and industrial experience while that homegrown program catches up. You're watching Times Access. I'm Aditi Prasad. If you liked this explainer, click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an Access update.
Nuclear weapon.
The old rules are breaking. Alliances are shifting.
Apologize again to the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Wars are redrawing maps. Oil routes can shake economies overnight. One election in America can impact markets in Mumbai.
No tax on tips.
One move by China can alter the balance in Asia. One conflict in West Asia can hit every Indian household. This is no longer a distant story. This is our story. Your story. Because for the first time in decades, India is not watching from the sidelines. India is rising. India is negotiating. India is balancing rivals. India is building military strength. India is shaping trade routes. India is becoming central to the new global order. And yet, most global news is still told through someone else's lens. Washington's lens, Beijing's lens, London's lens. But where is India's lens? Where is the platform that explains the world from our perspective? Welcome to India's Axis, a new destination for geopolitics, strategy and power seen through India's eyes. From Neighborhood Watch to the biggest global stories that matter to you. Why tensions in the Taiwan Strait matter to India. How one move by China can affect India's security. What turmoil in Pakistan means for regional stability. How Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan shape India's neighborhood. Why oil choke points can hit your wallet. How wars abroad can reshape India's security. This is not noise. This is not shouting. This is not recycled headlines. This is sharp, intelligent storytelling. Daily explainers, war room analysis, strategic conversations. Because news is everywhere, but perspective is rare, and in the age of confusion, clarity is power. Axis is for the audience that wants more than headlines. The axis of global power is shifting. India is at the center of that shift. It's time the world was explained accordingly, to understand the world through India's strategic lens. Subscribe now.